Hello, today I'll be doing a pastel tiger piece. This one is a little bigger than the rest, as an A3 size, just so I can really get in there with the detail. My other pieces tend to get a little pixelated because they're a little too small. I started off this sketch quite poorly in my opinion. It's very skewed and the eye is off. I didn't realise this until I flipped the image, then I work on correcting this. It's why it's really important to flip your images. You really do see what you might have missed. I wanted to include the front legs a little. I just think it's a bit more of an interesting composition than just a head portrait. I wasn't sure how I would paint the background, so I tried out a few ideas and just ended up going with a simple sketch, just to balance out with the complex tiger. I just started out by laying down the flat colours. I plan on adding shading and stripes later. I do this just so it's a bit easier for me to get the shapes of the tiger itself without the stripes getting in the way. I've flattened all my layers at this point. I like working on just one layer. And also I don't want to lose some of the sketchiness. I wanted to keep the stripes nice and loose, but still holding their shape. I think I struggled a bit with this. A tip when doing patterns is to remember the pattern will be affected by the form of the animal. I start adding in the shading using a layer with the effect of multiply. It just means that the colour you paint on will be added to the colour on the other layers, making the end colour much darker. I end up making the body of the tiger much darker than it should be, because I really want the face to stand out. Likewise, I use an effect layer for the light. This time it's overlay, and it causes the colour to brighten when mixed, so you can get some really dramatic lights. I use a soft yellow a lot, just so it looks like sunlight. I add in some fur texture. I don't want this to be overly detailed, so I don't go crazy with making it super fluffy. Just some areas where the light would be hitting it. I go back in and add some light fur on the edges of the body, and I clean up the face a little. Like what I said in my last speed draw, I paint the very dark areas right next to the lightest areas for the background, for contrast. In the background, I've made the strokes go within the direction of the tiger's gaze too. With the legs pointing down and the gaze and the background going up, the whole piece should point the viewer inwards, even though half the canvas is pretty much blank. I also went back and did some bigger strokes and blended to loosen up the body of the tiger, softening it slightly. Again, talking about contrast, the soft areas will complement the harsh strokes, so the body is working with the head. I hope this is all making sense. and here it is all finished. Thanks for watching.